Hey guys, it's Melanie here from Mango Paint. Wanted to make a quick video for you today showing you a little bit about our beeswax finish, which we absolutely love. It's a beautiful, soft, natural made finish for any of your mango painted projects. It is a hot day today, my hair is big, it's just what it is. Okay, so our beeswax finish comes in 3 different shades. We have our natural beeswax finish, we also have an antique, and we have a black. So what does that mean? They all actually give the same beautiful protection to your mango painted project. The difference though is in the appearance of how they will look on your project. So this board here shows a good example of the 3 different wax finishes that we have. This board here is painted in Xavier, which is a beautiful grayish type color. So it's a gray, but a bit of a warm beige undertone to it. We love this color for, it's super on trend right now for all those nice warm gray projects that you're thinking of doing. Anywho, so this here middle section has been sealed and finished with our natural beeswax. So this is the true color of the Xavier paint. Natural finish just gives it a nice, very, very subtle luster, seals in that paint onto your project and doesn't really change the color. Now on this side here, we've applied our antique beeswax. So that's what you're seeing in all these recessed areas. So the pigmented waxes are going to give you, really highlight all of the details in the recessed areas of your pieces. So the antique beeswax has a nice warm finish to it. It's a brown, warm pigment that we've added to our beeswax. And then we also have a black beeswax finish, which gives you a nice, true, cool black tone. So you can really see the difference here between the antique and the black. Let me show you them in the containers as well. This is our natural beeswax, and these, all of these beeswaxes, by the way, are also Canadian made. We actually hand make them in small batches right here in our Mango Reclaim studio, and we absolutely love them. So I hope you will too. The feedback from anyone who's tried them so far has been outstanding, so we're really happy to hear that. This is our natural beeswax. It's, as you can see, I don't even know if you can see, it looks like the container's empty probably. It's a clear color, so as you're putting it on, it won't change the color of your project. It actually smells like heaven, smells like beeswax. It's very soft in consistency. I'll show you that in a moment as I apply it. We also have the antique beeswax, which again is what you're gonna get from this look here. In the container, it's super dark. So don't be scared as you're putting that on. As you apply it and remove the excess, you're gonna get a bit into your flat areas here, and most of it's gonna stay built up in those dark recessed areas. Then of course we also have the black, which looks like this in the container. So again, looks a little scary, but please don't be afraid to apply that. You're gonna love the results. That's gonna give you a look more like over here. So to apply our beeswax, oh, let me tell you, it comes in 2 sizes. So we have our, oh my gosh, this is our 4-ounce container, which is great for most projects. So if you're coming into a mango paint retailer shop and you're not sure where to start, I would recommend a quart of paint and a 4-ounce beeswax. That's going to give you enough to do 2 good sized projects, maybe 3, maybe 4, depending on the size of your project and the color you choose. But the 4-ounce beeswax actually goes quite far. Now, if you're going to be doing your entire bedroom set, and then you know you're going to be painting more things as well, then I would recommend going for our 16-ounce container. So this container is for our serious furniture painters. This is our furniture flippers. If you love to paint furniture, if you have a whole cottage of furniture to paint, or a bunch of projects in mind, then you're going to want to get the 16-ounce container. But again, this is good for most. Okay, so I have this little sample board here, which has been painted in Jocelyn, and the color looks a little bit dull right now. The reason for that is we did 2 coats of paint, then we gave it a really light sanding overall. So we didn't distress this board, but before we apply our beeswax finish, we always like to give our piece a really quick, super quick, light sand overall, using a fine sanding sponge. This feels like buttery, super smooth, soft. So just a quick once over will make your piece feel really, really soft, and then you can go ahead and apply your finish. The beeswax finish can be applied with one of our beeswax brushes. These are natural bristle. They're perfect for applying the wax. They're big and round so you can get lots of wax on there all at once. This is our go-to brush. that we use for most projects. And then we also have 2 specialty sizes. We have our great big one, which we call the kabuki. This is obviously a much bigger surface area, can get covered with this really quickly, and it fits really nicely in your hand, so you don't get that sort of like, if you're waxing a lot with a brush, you might get a little bit tired on your fingers there. This one, big brush, just get it on there, and you can switch hands. It's ambidextrous with that, with the shape of it. So we love this for big projects. And then we also have our smaller brush. So this brush is great for a few things. This is a great brush if you're going to be doing one of the pigmented waxes in your details. Sometimes what we like to do is apply natural wax overall with our regular brush, and then we'll take a smaller brush and get into all these details. And you can see, obviously I'm not doing it right now, but this is how I would do it. I would get my wax on here, and I would literally be super aggressive and just get it all over this piece. It's gonna look like a hot mess. Then I'm gonna take a t-shirt rag, rub off the excess, and it's gonna look amazing. Let me show you. So this piece here, again, painted in Jocelyn, has had a light sand. Let's apply some wax. I'm gonna use the natural wax on one side so that you can see how that looks. And I'm gonna use our regular wax brush because again, this is our go-to for most projects. So I'm just going to get a bit of wax on my brush. Not that much, not a lot, a little goes a long way. And I'm going to just start applying it. Can you see the color change already? So this is the true color of Jocelyn. This is dulled down because we sanded it, but as soon as we apply the beeswax, that natural color comes right back. You really see like the depth of the color when you put on the natural wax. I can go this way, I can go this way, I can do whatever I want here. You literally cannot mess up the beeswax. It's super easy. So I think you can see this whole bottom half, hopefully. I put the tiniest amount of wax on here, and I just applied it within seconds on there. And then I would take a t-shirt rag, just rip up some old t-shirts and wipe off any excess. That's it. That's done. So that's waxed and finished. People, you know, we have some people that are a little nervous about waxing, or how do I do it? Is it hard? Is it going to be a lot of work? That's it, guys. Super simple. Get it on there with your brush, wipe it off with the rag, and you're good to go. Now let me show you on this side. I'm going to use one of the pigmented waxes. Maybe I'll use the antique wax on this side, and just show you how you get it into those grooves. So I'm going to open the antique wax in the small size. I'm going to use our smaller brush for this. I like to use I like to have a designated brush for the different colors of waxes. So if you're going to do a lot of waxing with the natural and the antique, I would get one brush for each. You can also just get a small brush if you're only going to be antiquing certain areas. But I'm going to use the small brush just to get it on this little board. So again, whoa, looks scary, right? This is way more wax than I need. So I'm going to offload a little bit if I can. And here we go. So again, this is the antique beeswax. Don't be afraid. And I'm going to use this to cover, again, like I said, you can go circles, you can go up and down, left and right. It really doesn't matter which way you go with it. The main thing is that, so I have a recessed area right here and a recessed area right here. The main thing when you're applying the pigmented waxes is to get right down into those grooves. Okay, so that's why you need to use a brush for the pigmented waxes for sure. Okay, so there's my wax all on there. And like, where did Jocelyn go? You can't even see the color anymore. So don't be afraid, take your t-shirt rag, and we're just gonna wipe off the excess. So as you can see, we're getting a really nice antique look here on the flat areas, and we still have that sort of darker antique look in the recessed areas. So I would still remove a bit more. And what I'm doing is I'm applying pressure on the flat surfaces. And again, you can do this in circles, you can do this up and down, left and right. You really can't mess it up. Just make sure you get all the excess off. So I'm going super, I'm coming closer. I'm going super light on the flat areas. And again, I'm not pushing very hard into those recessed areas. So we get a really nice sort of antiqued look, highlighting those details, which is exactly what we did over here. Hope you can see that. If this was a little darker than I had wanted, I could go back and apply a little bit of natural wax. So I still have a bit on my brush. This is really evident on lighter colors, but as you can see, just applying some natural wax there has removed it already. And I can create even more of like a highlight area here. So now I have a really beautiful highlight on both of the flat areas and an antiquing around my edges and in my details. And that's it. So your beeswax can take a little bit of time to fully cure. We would use this for gentle use. You use it right away, but I would give it a couple days if you can. But you do want to just make sure that you've got all the wax removed. Gentle use for a few days, and then it can take 2 or 3 weeks to fully cure. But like I said, you can use it right away. Yeah, you're good to go. I think this is beautiful. Two totally different looks, one project, different waxes.